No one expected a single strike to unravel a man's entire life. Yet, in that sunlit training yard, a moment of violence became the spark that ignited a storm no one could ignore. Captain Elena Ramirez had been perfecting her drill formations, her crisp uniform gleaming under the bright morning sun, when Lieutenant Harris's hand shot out. The slap was sharp, echoing across the yard like a gunshot. Her eyes widened, not in shock at the pain, but at the audacity. Before she could react, whispers rippled through the other cadets. The air was suddenly thick, tense, and impossible to ignore. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Elena's first instinct was to retreat, to shield herself, but the pride that had driven her through countless hours of training refused to bend. Lieutenant Harris sneered, thinking he had intimidated her. He had miscalculated. The crack of his arrogance met the silence of the yard like a challenge. The other cadets froze, unsure if they should intervene. Dust rose in the heat, and the sunlight glinted off polished boots, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Elena's pulse raced, not just from fear, but from the moral choice before her: confront him, or let him walk away, unpunished. Then it happened. A low rumble of engines, a synchronized march of disciplined steps. 4 colonels appeared almost instantly, moving with precision and authority that made the ground itself seem to respect their arrival. Their eyes scanned the yard, locking on Harris. The lieutenant stiffened, his bravado faltering under the sheer weight of experience and command. Elena felt a mix of relief and disbelief. The colonels didn't speak immediately. They didn't need to. Their presence alone shifted the atmosphere. Cadets exchanged nervous glances, some whispering, others stepping back instinctively. The wind seemed to carry the tension like a tangible force, rustling the edges of the flags overhead. "You struck her?" one colonel finally asked, his voice calm but cold enough to freeze blood. Harris's mouth opened, then closed. Words failed him. His confidence, built over years of small intimidations, crumbled like brittle sand. In that suspended moment, Elena saw the truth of justice. It wasn't loud, it wasn't explosive, it was inevitable. The colonels moved with quiet efficiency, reviewing his record, issuing orders, and marking the end of a career built on dominance and fear. The other cadets watched, some teary-eyed, others silent with awe, as fairness unfolded before them like a carefully choreographed dance of integrity. Harris was escorted out of the yard, the sun catching on the stripes of the colonels' uniforms as they moved, upright and unwavering. Elena exhaled, a long, trembling breath, feeling the weight of tension drain from her shoulders. She had stood her ground, but the truth had been delivered not by her alone. It was reinforced by those who embodied principle, courage, and moral authority. Neighbors watching from outside the base murmured in disbelief. Even distant voices could feel the lesson that abuse, no matter how subtle or bold, leaves a mark, and justice, though sometimes delayed, will arrive. Elena returned to her formation, not just as a cadet, but as a witness to something larger than herself. A lesson etched not in words, but in actions and unwavering presence. She realized that courage wasn't the absence of fear, it was the insistence on what's right, even when the world watches silently. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits and it finds its way back. The yard shimmered in the bright daylight, the wind whispering through the flags once more, carrying with it the quiet but undeniable echo of justice restored. If you were inspired by Elena's courage and want more stories like this, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Let's share these moments of bravery together.